All right, folks. Welcome to College B-Ball Picks Friday Night Pick'em Show here on Friday the 13th. But unlike the date, tonight's pick's going to be lucky for you. Let's get started with our pickers. Jimmy Mack, how are we doing over in snow-cold Boston?
It was a frigid day, mid-major, Mike, but with the cold weather, you got to come back with the hot picks to balance it out. So, looking for a big weekend here.
Exactly, that's what I'd like to hear. And over on to D-Row. D-Row, how are we doing up at Marquette?
Everything's good up here. Popped some bottles with OG Mum over Skype the other night after the Big Eastern Washington win. Still fired up. Back to you.
Yes, as you folks may or may not know, if you follow DM Rosen on Twitter, his Eastern Washington Eagles took care of business in the Big Sky. Great win for them. Great win for that lifelong fan, D. Rowe. And no Chili tonight. Sorry, he's out on the town with a few ladies, few men. But we do have our RFB Picker of the Week, which is our RFB Picker, our Rockford Brain Picker of the Week, as always brought to you by UMASM. UMASM, finding ways to be slower than the MBTA. And our Oxford Brain Picker of the Week, of course, Cam DeHam, coming out with a horrible 0 for 3 last week. Cam DeHam, what happened?
Wasn't my week. Can't always be perfect. It's put up or shut up time this week. I don't know if there was some weird February 13th stuff going on last weekend. Friday the 13th, I mean, whatever. Just ready to, shove it off my back and get ready. So here we go. Some green picks today.
Yes, folks. Maybe this little Super Bowl hangover for Cam going on last week. This week, though, it's all back to business making those picks. And with that, as we get back to business, we have our opening tip, our first picks of the week. Jimmy Mack, what do you got for an opening tip?
Opening tip, we got ACC play. We're starting off North Carolina at Pitt. Big game coming off the passing of Dean Smith. I can put the rivalry aside for this one. Quality coach. Anyone who can recruit Michael Jordan is a plus in my book. So take the Tar Heels -5 in Pitt. Big statement game for good old Dean. Look for the Tar Heels to run away easily in the Oakland Zoo.
Yes, folks, do it for Dean. Do it for Dean. And on over to D-Row. D-Row, what do we got for an opening tip?
Opening tip this week, surprisingly enough, I'm riding with the Thunderbirds. Southern Utah +6 at Idaho State. The Bengals, straight up in Idaho, have not been good this year for Idaho State. I really like the Thunderbirds +6 and possibly money line. Back to you.
Wow, a bold statement. How times have changed. Last year, you see that 6-point line. Maybe D-Row said, I'm going to tease it to like a -25 for Idaho State, but this year, times have changed. Over to Cam DeHam. Cam DeHam, let's get a winning pick this week. What's our opening tip?
All right, first winning pick of the weekend. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. UMass, they have my heart, but I'm going with Duquesne +11 at UMass. All of us UMass boys know what it's like on a long weekend up in a loot ghost town. So you go with Duquesne +11 at UMass. The Mullins militia will be nowhere to be seen. So we're going Duquesne +11. They shoot the ball well. They're going to stay in the game. Back to you, Major Mike.
All right, staying in the game and staying in our hearts on Valentine's Day. Over to me, my opening tip. We're looking over at the Big West Conference. We got St. Mary's heading into San Diego, which was one of the most disrespectful lines I've seen in a long time. San Diego -1.5. Now, I don't know where they're getting this line because if you follow Mike Moore, follow MMMM, you know one thing, the Gales never fails. The St. Mary Gales people, they lost a close one to BYU last week, but besides that, they've been all money, shooting the lights out, getting those baskets. San Diego's not going to know what hit them. Easily, take the money line, expect them to cover, get 1 point plus 1.5 points. And as for some more picks, heading over to Jimmy Mack again. Jimmy Mack, what else do you got for us?
All right, round 2. We're going Big Ten. This would be another great football match, Ohio State and Michigan State, but this one's played on the hardwood. D'Angelo Russell has looked really, really good for Ohio State. Potential top 5 pick in the draft coming up. But give me the Spartans in the iZone -1.5. They've kind of slowed down recently, but if there's anything you know about Tom Izzo, is that in a statement game, he's going to come out and the troops are going to be ready to play. So give me the Spartans -1.5 easily over Ohio State.
All right, H to the Izzo, baby. Over to D-Row. What else do we got for picks this week?
All right, I got 2 picks coming for you right here. One from the Big Sky, one from the Big East. First game is Northern Arizona at Weber State. I like Weber State -1 at home there. This is really what I like to call a trash game. Both teams are trash, but I think Weber State finds a way to win the game at home purely with the home crowd there. So I like Weber State -1 at home against Northern Arizona. And my other game, go over to the Big East, I like, no bias here, Marquette +4 on the road at Creighton. Creighton has not been good this year, and although Marquette only has 3 wins in the Big East, they have competed in almost every game they've played in, and I think they could win the game, and they will definitely cover the 4. So Marquette +4 at Creighton. Back to you.
All right, a big pick there from D-Row. He's been money in the Big Sky lately. Let's see if he can branch out and make things happen in the Big East as well. Cam to Ham, what else do you got for us this week down there in Zona?
All right, so before I get to my Big 12 pick of the week, want to give a big shout out to our first official college b-ball picks girl here at collegeballpicks.com. That's going to be Adona. Big shout out to Edona there. So anyway, we're moving on to the Big 12. Oklahoma State -4 at TCU. Back to you, mid-major Mike.
All right, I think that's all the analysis we need for that pick. We'll see our true fan of the week later on, but yes, Edona. Cam the Ham, you're our honorary, I guess, fan of the week this week too. Hit up your boy D-Row maybe for a prize or a little something extra for being our fan of the week. Anyways, on to my extra picks. First, we're going to take a look at the usual favorite mid-major, Wichita State, coming off a good win, but they've had a little struggle recently. They lost to UNI. That was their big loss this season. They're heading into Illinois State, only -4. Looking at Illinois State, they've also been playing pretty well, but one thing I see, they lost to UNI twice. They lost to Indiana State twice. They lost to Southern Indiana twice. So that tells me one thing, bad coaching on their part. Look for them to lose again to Wichita State, who beat them earlier in the season. Take Wichita State -4. And for my other pick, we're going to head down south to the Sun Belt Conference. Looking at the Ragin' Cajuns of L.A. Lafayette, Louisiana Lafayette, taking on Troy. As Drew knows very well, Troy, another trash can team. Throw them out with the Saturday garbage because they just can't play ball. The Ragin' Cajuns, last year's champions, expect them to easily cover their spread of 3 points. And now our true fan of the week, besides Edona, maybe get a few prizes. Our true fan of the week this week is the General Lee Wickert. Yes, up there in Marquette as well. Hope he's having a good time. I know he's a big fan of the show, loves the guests, loves the hosts. Lee, be sure to reach out to D-Row as well to get your prize. And with that, on to our easy money picks of the week, folks. These are the big money makers. You can make that money for that big Valentine's date, whether it's with Edona, whether it's with Hot Intern, whether it's with OG Graham. You don't know who the hot date's with, but make that money for it. Jimmy Mack, where are we making that money with the easy money pick?
Well, it's fitting that it's Valentine's Day because I love this pick. It was not looking like a good day. MBTA was delayed, very slow. Things were down the dump. Before you know it, Girl Scouts in Back Bay, I got some cookies, opened up the lines, and I found Maryland +1.5 at Penn State. Yes, Maryland +1.5. Now, that's as easy as it's going to get, folks. Maryland, amazing team. Jake Lehman, proud alum of the Hockomock down here. Des Wells, Mello Trimble, great point guard, a young team, but hey, they're going to play their hearts out. Going into Penn State, nothing special there. +1.5, if there's a money line, it might be too close. You can take a money line, but just Maryland 1.5, easy money. Get that easy green, lock it up.
All right. Yes, folks, Jimmy Mack there. The questionable Girl Scout reference, but I do like the pick. Over to D-Row. D-Row, what's your easy money pick of the week?
Can you hear that? Silence. That's what we're going to hear at the Kibbe Dome on Saturday night. Sac State +3 at Idaho. Now, Sac State, obviously, coming off a heartbreaking loss on Thursday night at Eastern Washington. But they're one game out of the Big Sky. It's not that big of a deal. They're not going to roll over and quit against the Idaho Vandals. And you're going to disrespect them by making them +3? Absolutely not. Give me Sac State +3 at Idaho. Easy money. Back to you.
All right, Sac State coming off the heartbreaking loss. Hopefully turn things around there for D-Row's easy money pick. Cam DeHam, what's our easy money pick down there?
So this easy money pick is like candy grams from Faith for D-Row. So we go in here, baby. We go easy money. The University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners -1.5 at home versus Charlotte. Charlotte's been dog doo-doo all CUSA season. I know I'm going away from the Colonial, but still got to keep it with the C, Conference USA, baby. So you go with the Roadrunners, -1.5. Not going to make any grandiose claims here. Just straight up, you want to win some money, you want a sure thing like a candy gram from Faith, you go with the -1.5 against Charlotte. Back to you, Mid-Major Mike.
That's right, folks. Not many things much more sure than that. As for me, my easy money pick, I know you've heard of Red Sox Yankees, you've heard of UNC versus Duke, heard of these big rivalries. But what if I told you the biggest rivalry is right in the middle of the country in the Summit League between the North Dakota State Bison and the South Dakota State Jackrabbits? Yes, folks, one of the most explosive matchups I have ever seen. This game, they played each other about a month ago. North Dakota State came out the victors at home only by 3 points, winning on the game-winning 3. It was ridiculous. Both these teams at the top of the Summit. North Dakota State going to very hostile South Dakota State territory. But the odds makers here totally off, giving an 8-point spread to South Dakota State. That's knowing these two teams, it's going to be a battle. 1-point win at the most. Give me North Dakota State +8 easily with a toss-up of who will ever win. And with that, us pickers here at College BBall Picks like to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Play it smart. Don't watch too much 50 Shades. And have a great day picking.